Is AI Limit worth it? What's going on, guys? Welcome to my review video of AI Limit, an anime action RPG with Souls-like elements. In this video, I'm going to answer all the questions I myself would have if I were on the fence about getting this game, and I needed more information before I decided yes or no. Alright, so the first question I'd have is it basically Code Vein but updated? And the answer to that, not surprising, yeah, it feels a lot like Code Vein. Like, it's almost as if the developers, a company out of Beijing called Sense Games, were huge fans of Code Vein and wanted to make it in their own way. Is that a bad thing though, or is it a good thing? Well, after playing it for several hours, I can tell you with 100% confidence that for me at least, it scratched an itch that Code Vein created but really couldn't satisfy. For whatever reason, when Code Vein was brand new back in 2019 and I was playing it on stream with viewers solo, I would always say this game has everything I want in a game. It's got hack and slash, it's got puzzle solving, it's got ranged magical attacks, cool looking swords, but for some reason I'm just not in love with it. Like, it was like all the ingredients for the best chocolate cake in the world were used, but the cake just came out wrong, if that makes any sense. So after the hype for Code Vein just died down, I let it go. I can't even remember if I beat the game or not. Now with this game, AI Limit, 2019 me has looked up and kind of cracked a smile. Now, I'm not paid to say nice things about the game, so I'm going to give it to you blood raw and uncut, but there are good things about the game as well as things that are not so good. But instantly I saw two things that are great about this game. It reminded me of Code Vein, but with all the ingredients making a good cake. The only problem is it's a 2019 cake, which brings me to the other good thing. The game is cheap. It only costed 34 bucks on a PlayStation Store, whereas Code Vein in 2019 released with a $60 price tag. Yikes. So to wrap this section up with a neat little bow, yeah, it's basically a Code Vein clone, but better. Call it Code Vein Plus, and that doesn't mean it's bad. Alright, so the second question, is it good? Well, I can't say it's terrible, but good might be a stretch. It's basic, super simple, not complicated, with a lot of mechanics, which can be good for a lot of people who just want a really pretty game to play that doesn't take Elden Ring level mental mathematics. You go through a level that's pretty linear, fight enemies and bosses that get stronger. Sometimes you can beat a boss with just your skill alone, even if your level isn't high enough, and then you can always go and level up if need be. It's just, for me in 2025, gaming standards have raised a bit. The only thing that saves this game from absolute scrutiny is that it was only $34. Like, the devs knew the game wasn't Final Fantasy VII Rebirth level quality and priced it accordingly, so shout out to them. Alright, so what's good and what's bad about this game? This is a part that I add in all of my gaming review videos because I'd want to know some things that are really cool about the game off the top, and then some things that are really bad about the game. So starting with the cool things, the game is polished as hell. It looks absolutely amazing. The attention to detail is 10 out of 10. I personally can't play a game that isn't visually stunning in 2025, and this game is that, absolutely. The main character looks so dope, very anime, and I normally don't like games where the main character is a female. Like, I don't like them at all. I don't like being a female in video games, so I usually look for a male protagonist. And sometimes though, when the game is just good enough and it's a female character, I mean, it is what it is. B, you can change the way the character looks through armor that you equip that changes their appearance, and so far, a few hours in, I'm not unhappy with the way the armor makes the character look. And I mean, I can't play a game where I don't look like the character doesn't look cool to me. I can't play that game. Like, the character has to look dope, or else it's just unfun for me to play. And the character, despite it being a female, like I said just a second ago, looks really cool. In the armor that you get, they really took their time to, like, make sure every piece of armor that customizes and changes the way the character looks, even like the throwaway pieces, they looked really good. Alright, and C, the weapons. Now, I haven't unlocked it yet. As of the making of this video, I was hoping to get it before I made my review, but it's been 24 hours since the game has been out, and I gotta put this thing out. And that's the katana. If I'm being completely honest, that was the deciding factor for me. I saw a clip on social media last night stating that the game was out, and I was gonna skip the game until I watched the clip and I saw the main character using a sick-ass katana looking absolutely badass. And not gonna lie, as I was looking for the video to screenshot the katana just now, as I'm writing this script, I stumbled upon another video on AI Limit's Twitter that shows the MC, the main character, using the katana with fire on it, unsheathing and sheathing and unsheathing the blade for a fight, and it looks absolutely insane. Like, it makes me want to stop writing this right now and go and play the game. Now, there are other weapons, dual blades, great swords that are basically like pole arms. Like, the weapon that you see on my character's back right now is technically called a great sword, but I don't know why it has a super long hilt, so it looks like a pole arm. I saw one clip on Twitter of the main character using like dual wield missile launchers. Looks pretty dope. The weapons are definitely awesome. And on the same vein, the characters get spells. So far, I have a flamethrower and like a lightning gun. Now, there's also an item that calls down lightning that I'm hoping that we're going to get as an ability later on down the line. But it looks so dope. You just call like a line of lightning down on your enemy. So suffice it to say, you have really cool looking weapons that can make for some really satisfying fights. And one final thing I will say about the game is that it's addicting. Now, we all know a game doesn't need to be the best game in the world for it to be addicting. It just needs that one element, whatever it is, and you have a game that you just want to keep playing. For me, it's finding new weapons and spells that make the character even more fun to use. It could be something else for you, but I'm sure that this game is addictive in every way that a game can be. Alright, so now for the not so good things, and I'll just state my biggest gripes. A, the character doesn't have an actual jump button. Like, what? It has this thing that you can do when you sprint and you press in the left analog stick, so like L3, and it does this little like hop to clear small, like really small gaps. But that's not satisfying at all. I think in 2025, every game needs a jump, no matter what. And it just doesn't. And that little hop sucks. And I was just so disappointed when I saw it. I was playing the game and I was like maybe 15, 20 minutes in when I was like, wait, hold on. What button? What's the jump button? And I was trying to find a jump button. It couldn't jump. And then later on down the line, like maybe 20 minutes later, I get to a part where I have to like jump across a small gap, and they're like sprint and press L3 and you can jump. And I was like, oh, finally a jump. Then I saw the jump. I was like, what? I mean, you can do it just like running and like normal without having to like jump a gap. And it's bad. B, so far the dialogue in English sounds and feels like a horrible dubbed movie on Netflix where you can tell someone was just in a booth saying lines and not really feeling like the acting moment. And I get it, it's a Chinese game that's not super high quality, so the voice acting can't be expected to be super top tier in English, but still, it's a kind of a turnoff. Okay, and C, this is really a good thing for my sanity, but it still nags at me somehow. It's the fighting, not like the combat mechanics. Those are fine. It's very basic for this sort of game. But I don't know, whenever I'm fighting a boss, it just seems like you will always be able to dodge every attack if you time your dodges perfectly, because every enemy I fought so far doesn't really track you at the time of their attack. They sort of attack where you were. Like, how do I explain it? It's like, if I'm standing in front of a boss, and it's not to say that I don't get hit, like I'm not like super perfect on the dodges, and maybe I'm kind of faded when I'm saying this because I do get hit trying to dodge, like actively trying to dodge at the time of the attack, and some attacks, they just have weird timing when they actually do the attack. But it's like, whenever the boss goes to attack and I do get the dodge off or whatever, it's attacking where I was instead of where I'm going, or like you know what I mean? Like, it's not attacking at me. It's just attacking the spot where it was. Now, I might be super critical of this because I'm still actively playing Elden Ring almost every night. And Monster Hunter Wilds is still super fresh on my mind. So whenever going to a game that has, like, lesser boss monster combat, it feels like Pac-Man versus Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for whatever reason, it just kind of feels like, I don't want to say bad, but it feels bad. But like I said, it's good for my sanity because I really do not, and I mean this so much with my heart and soul, I do not need any more boss fights where the enemy has 13 different attack patterns that it can do with a smart enough AI that it changes its attack pattern in a literal split second depending on what movements I make, like Commander Gaius in Elden Ring. That has left such a bad taste in my mouth. If you've never experienced Commander Gaius in Elden Ring, just pray that you don't, because that boss pisses me off every single time. I know the boss's attack patterns, and this thing is so unpredictable, it will hit you no matter what. And you don't see that in this game, which is a good thing, but it almost feels like it should be there. Okay, so finally, the last question that I know everybody wants to know, this is what I would want to know. Is the game worth it? That damn, fuck. All right, and finally, the question that everybody wants to know that I would want to know, is the game worth it? The answer is definitively yes, it is. For the price. You are getting a surprisingly well put together game for half the price of normal games. That's fun and addictive. Is it the best game? No. No way is it the best game. Does it have flaws? Absolutely. What game doesn't? But is it fun? For me, yeah. It is a turn your brain off and just mash the button sort of game that looks really, really freaking cool. Out of 10, I give this game a 7.5. What it lacks in quality, it makes up in pretty much every other way. All right, and before I forget one more thing, I wanted to add this in earlier, but I couldn't work it into the script. But if you had to skip Stellar Blade, or you liked Stellar Blade and wanted something extremely similar, this is it. I played a crap ton of Stellar Blade, and playing this game reminded me of it so much. I think I said that wrong. It's kind of like, this game is kind of like this. It's if Code Vein and Stellar Blade had a baby, this game would be their child. Thanks guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you're gonna pick this game up, if you already have, and what you think about it, and if you would recommend it to somebody else. My name is VinceSGN. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.